I got to talk to you.
Have a drink.
Have a drink. Come on, have a drink.
Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci are brutal mobsters in Martin Scorsese's decidedly unromantic view of the workaday life of New York mobsters in Goodfellas. It's one of the 4 new fall movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. We'll also take a look at the controversy surrounding Spike Lee's most recent movie, Mo Better Blues. He's been charged with anti-Semitism. A look at racial stereotyping later in the show. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Since 1976, when he directed Taxi Driver, Martin Scorsese has stood, I think, alone at the top of the art of film directing in the world today. His Raging Bull was generally conceded to be the best film of the decade of the 1980s, and now with Goodfellas, Scorsese has scored another magnificent achievement. This is a great film, a film about Scorsese's favorite subjects, the great tragic subjects like avarice and jealousy, murder and guilt, and it ranks with The Godfather in his portrait of the crime syndicate. The movie stars Ray Liotta in the true story of Henry Hill, an Irish-Italian kid whose only ambition was to work for the mob. He envied the way they seemed to get dates with the best-looking girls and the way the nightclub waiters always seemed to know their names.
Gave them $20 each.
All right. Henry, this is with Mr. Tony over there. Wait, over there.
Oh, thanks so much, Tony. Thank you. Salute.
That's Lorraine Bracco as his wife Karen, who discovers that being married to the mob means being absorbed into a self-contained cocoon of mob values and mob friendships. One of Liotta's best friends in the outfit is played here by Joe Pesci, the same great actor who played the kid brother in Raging Bull. He has an out-of-control temper that flares instantly into violence.
Come on, don't be like that.
What do you mean, don't be like
that? The movie also stars Scorsese's longtime favorite actor, Robert De Niro, who in this scene tells Liotta that it looks like Pesci's going to make it into the mob's inner circle. He's going to be a made man.
You believe that, this little guinea bastard? Believe that? Huh? Huh? He's gonna get made? We're gonna work for this guy one day. He's gonna be a boss.
What you get in Goodfellas is a portrait of an American life. Young ambition, early promise, a steady rise through the organization, and the business therein is stealing things and killing people. The life of the mafia in this film seems almost hermetically sealed. The characters don't associate with anyone else, and so their values come to seem valid to themselves because nobody disagrees with them. I have never seen even a movie by Scorsese that really wrapped me up so much into the world of the emotions of these people. A day, 2 days after the movie was over, I still myself felt guilty, I think identifying with the guilt of the Ray Liotta character. Guilt not only that he did bad things, but the worst kind of guilt, which is the guilt that he still wanted to do them. He wishes he was still doing them.
What is great about this picture and the way it's organized as a movie is that it seems that it would be about this guy who's narrating his life, but I thought the person that took center stage and was really emblematic of what Scorsese and Nick Pileggi, who wrote the book that this film is based on, really think about the mob, is the character played by Joe Pesci, the guy who can explode at any second, who's basically an animal. It's an animal who, when you're verbally insulted, pulls out a gun and shoots you. I've never done that to you on the show. They play for, he's a pig. And what I love about the film, and what I like about Scorsese's work, is he takes, in a very theatrical, exciting way, moral stands. He makes The Last Temptation of Christ. He makes Raging Bull he makes films about sinners and finds the saints and sinners and saints. And this guy, he's saying about the mob, these guys are scum. He says it. That's so refreshing in an artful, beautiful way.
I think I agree with you that Pesci's performance is so important in this movie, and it's so good in this movie. There's not a bad performance in the movie.
No, there isn't.
One that's going to be overlooked is Lorraine Bracco as the wife. She's very important. What's the reason that you're, I think, attracted to Pesci is because the Liotta character is always an outsider. He's not a pure Sicilian. He's half Irish. He can never be a made man in the mob. He's always looking from the outside. He sees it even when he's in the middle of it with a certain objectivity, and so it's told through his point of view. He looks at these guys. He sees how they work with each other, and it's a fascinating movie. It's a great American film.
Okay, I've seen it twice. I'm going back lots more times, and what I'll go back for is small things, editing scenes, the way he jumps in on dialogue, the way there's that whole sequence about when the Ray Liotta character gets into drugs and it's shot in a whole different fashion because he's high on drugs, and Scorsese, the artist, wants to show us that. It's very
And you could also mention the scene when somebody doesn't realize he's about to get killed, and then he realizes it. And that moment of realization is like a hammer blow from the screen.
What we ought to do is, in a couple of weeks after people see this picture, maybe we'll go back and look at it again and talk more about it.